deal with was during the week of my dad's death, when I needed someone to hold on to, I could always count on picking up this little guy. Of course, he wasn't so little by this point, and he would listen. He would let me cry. And that's the thing I love about dogs. Once you earn their trust, they'll never, ever betray you. They're great companions. And over the years, I've lost a couple of jobs, one of which I valued very highly, and was very stressed out and all. And Gunther I could confide in and not worry about him, upsetting the situation or judging me harshly. And that's what the nature of true friendship is. That as long as you treat each other with respect and dignity, be cool. And that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to restore Gunther's dignity on this situation. So, again, I'll be following this and hope to relay it to you. Alright, other things I wanted to get to in the news today. Congressional hearings. I've largely avoided this topic. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I've even brought it up regarding the Affordable Care Act. Largely, I see this as a partisan attempt to derail the Obama administration. However, 3 congressional hearings will be held by House Republicans on the Affordable Care Act. Okay? Only one will feature Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. The rest will feature tech people and the people who are involved in Medicare. Now, do we really need 3 hearings on the Affordable Care Act? We know the exchanges are not working, but that's too mild. We know that the exchanges are prime examples of technical debacles. Which brings me to the Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius. Now, she told CNN recently that 19 million people have visited healthcare.gov and that more than 500,000 people have created accounts. Really? Who are these people? The secretary also told the president that she had no idea that there were problems told us that the president had no idea that there were problems with the website before the October 1st launch. Now, if that is true, then more than one person ought to be fired. Can you imagine launching your boss's pet project only to find that it's riddled with problems? I don't know about you, but I'd be in deep caca. The first thing my boss would ask me is, why didn't you prepare me for this? Well, we're going to be following that one. In other news, there's a new twist in the case of a little girl found in a gypsy camp in Greece. Well, it turns out that another little girl was found in Ireland in a gypsy camp. All part of some kind of international child kidnapping ring? Starting to sound something like that, isn't it? Well, to end this quick segment on a lighter note, someone sold a ticket to Game 1 of the World Series on StubHub. Get this, for $3. Yeah. Mistake? Excuse me. Probably so. Someone really, really screwed up, though. I mean, I really feel bad for the seller, assuming this was a mistake and not just some weird act of kindness. But nevertheless, Game 1 of the 2013 World Series begins tonight with the St. Louis Cardinals against the Boston Red Sox tonight in Boston. So, wish both teams well, but yours truly is defecting from the American League and rooting on the St. Louis Cardinals. State loyalties first here, my friends. All right. Some other things I want to talk about in the news, of course. Talk about the Affordable Care Act once again. Not going to spend a lot of time on it like I have in the past, but there have been plenty of red flags, but little action is taken. And so far, I think the Democrats have been handling this very poorly. The Republicans have been trying to derail it or defund it. That was not an honorable act. Now, the Democrats are saying that this is a good system. Well, I hope the coverage is a whole lot better than the sign-up process has been for a lot of people. Because if you have 19 million people going to one website in a 3-week period, and your servers can't handle that kind of a load, are we going to go through this bullshit year after year until you guys get this thing worked out? Because I have a feeling as computers advance or you get more people signed up on the system to renew, we're going to go through this every October and November and December. I don't know about you, but I couldn't get away with that. I would not have a lot of confidence in that kind of a system. So something else has to be done here. Well, Health and Human Services Secretary Kathleen Sebelius admits that the president was blindsided by the website meltdown plaguing sign-up for the Affordable Care Act. Now, a team of high-tech experts from within the government and from Silicon Valley are now tackling the issues. The critics are everywhere, from the White House to Capitol Hill. The president himself promises it's going to get fixed. Maybe so, but this isn't just the sort of thing you can just put a bandage on. And what bugs me, and I agree with the Republicans on this one. The other day, she was asked to testify in Congress about these screw-ups, and just to testify. She wasn't subpoenaed, but she was asked to testify, which I think she should have, unless the president told her not to. Instead, she went to some fundraising event. Now, I understand you have to maintain a public image, especially on this level, in terms of making public appearances. But you also have an obligation to fix problems regarding health and human services in this country on a federal level. And this is a big one. The Affordable Care Act is the biggest change to health care law in this country. And frankly, I think that she's got her priorities mixed up. In regards to a follow-up on a school shooting earlier this week in Nevada, this is a pet peeve of mine. Now, I understand that sometimes 911 calls enhance the details of news stories, but why is it after every tragic event, whether it be a shooting, a fire, or a severe weather event, anytime a 911 call is involved, that news media feels compelled to run that damn call on their news? It's becoming a cliche. I get tired of hearing them. Okay? To me, it's about the equivalent of saying, well, so-and-so committed suicide. Did they leave a note? Well, then it's not true suicide then. Alright, we know 911 works. We don't need to hear every frapping call on the news. Well, getting back to this Nevada school shooting at Sparks Middle School, where a student opened fire earlier this week, killing a teacher and wounding 2 other students. Emergency calls. Now here's a sampling. This is a student at Sparks Middle School. Can you please send police out here? There's a kid with a gun, and somebody brought a gun to school. They shot a teacher. And from a police officer, I got a kid down who's been shot. Now, police say that the 12-year-old shooter took his life with a gunshot wound to the head. But so far, we still don't know why this kid did it. I have a feeling he suffered from low self-esteem, was bullied, and decided to get back at his attackers. And the only way he felt that he knew how to do that was to go on the shooting rampage. And unfortunately, a lot of people paid with their dear life. And I know only 2 died, the teacher and the kid. But these other lives, they're paying for it as well. They're going to have to live with that fact for the rest of their life. Now, most of them were innocent in terms of being a bully. Now, I'm not saying what this kid did was right by any means. But anytime you pick on someone relentlessly, think about the nature of the picking and how they're taking it. Because if it looks like they're ignoring it, they may not be. They may be internalizing this. And it grows like a sore. And it gets bigger and bigger. Trust me, I've been there. Now, frankly, I would never jump off the deep end and go ballistic like this. Pardon the pun. But what's not to say that you're not going to drive someone else over the edge? So think about what you're saying to other people, okay? Another big story in the news over the last few days regards a mysterious girl who appears to be from Greece. Who's her family? Well, it seems that there are about 10 cases of missing children are getting a closer look as authorities around the globe try to figure out how a Roma couple in Greece ended up with a little girl. The cases include children from the United States, Canada, Poland, and France. Authorities have charged the couple with abducting the child they call Maria. Their attorney says they adopted the child from her biological mother, but police say they suspect the records provided for the girl are fake. They've been falsified. Now, she's believed to be 5 or 6 years of age. Now, in a similar but separate case, police in Ireland removed a 7-year-old girl from a Roma family in the Dublin suburb of, I believe, Tallaght or Tallaght. Well, investigation is underway, but police say they're not convinced the girl belongs to the family that she lived with. So again, another story that I plan to follow on and hopefully have more details on as they become available. Back here in Missouri, number 4 on my list today, there was a small town rally last night where hundreds of protesters, I believe 400 in all, flocked to Maryville to demand justice for Daisy. I began talking about this case a little over a week ago here on the program. Demand justice for Daisy in an online protest that left the virtual world for the real one. The activist group Anonymous spearheaded the rally. Daisy Coleman says that a teenage boy raped her in January of 2012 when she was 14 years of age. Sexual assault charges against Matthew Barnett, who was 17 at the time, were dropped when the first prosecutor in the case, incidentally a distant relative of this 17-year-old, said the girl and her family refused to cooperate. Now, that's according to the prosecutor. Well, this past Monday, a new special prosecutor promised to review the case. So now we'll see how that pans out. And hopefully this case can finally get to trial and they can put away this Matthew Barnett for a long, long time. Because what he did was wrong. And I admit I am convicting him without knowing all the facts or the details. But I would say that this 14-year-old girl was assaulted and that she deserves justice. But again, we'll be following this story as details pop up. And finally, excuse me, number 5. This one is going on as we speak, and it's regarding the royal baptism. I could care less about this, but I wanted to record it for posterity. It's christening day for the littlest British royal, born on July 22nd. The Archbishop of Canterbury performs the ceremony at the Chapel Royal in St. James Palace, while Prince George was still in his mum's tum. Oh, please, do we have to be so cutesy? You know, the Duchess of Cambridge christened a cruise ship with a bottle of champagne. Now, let's hope they don't mix up the two ceremonies. Oh, God. I'm sorry, that sounds like a really bad Monty Python skit. Those are the 5 big stories for the day, plus a few others that I've thrown in there. And here are some others that are brewing and have the internet buzzing. Seems that the Vatican cricket team, that's right, the Vatican has a cricket team, and it's forming its own cricket team, the St. Peter's Cricket Club. Well, the Catholic Church thinks that the cricket pitch is fertile ground for a little interfaith competition. So the sport is hugely popular in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Australia,